welcome to another video from the trading field. So what we're going to be doing in this episode is primarily focusing on the Tradingview website. Okay, the Tradingview website is where we do all of our analysis, we show all of our chart work, and it will be extremely beneficial for you guys to just understand how to use it yourself and give you an insight into the main features that are available to you, so that you can refer to them when we're talking about it in future videos. So the first thing you need to do is just head straight to tradingview.com. You can set yourself up an account completely free of charge. They do have paid versions as you kind of grow in your journey as a trader, but for now the basic free version is absolutely fine. Okay, so once you've created your login details, all we care about on this page is hitting the chart. Okay, and just if you click that button, the first thing that you're going to be presented with is a chart. Okay, now I'm going to run through all the features and just run through exactly what everything is and what we're seeing here, and show you how to set up your charts in the most clean, basic, simple way, so that it's actually understandable precisely what you're looking at and how to actually, analyze the data that you've got in front of you. So first of all, we've got the market. Okay, this says here EuroCAD, okay, Euro Canadian dollar. So this is the euro versus Canadian dollar. Now we have the potential to look at as many markets as we want. It can be, as you can see here, we've got stock, futures, Forex, CFD, crypto, indexes, economy. So really what we mainly focus on here will be Forex, will be stocks, shares, indexes such as the DAX or the FTSE, okay, and then obviously finally we'll also look at crypto charts as well. So if you need to search for something, you simply type it in here. So just as an example, if I just type BTC in here, which is Bitcoin, we can then find the BTC USD chart, which is the Coinbase chart, okay, and as we can see there, brings up the chart just at a simple click. Now on the right hand side here is our watch list. So you can create a watch list which enables you to actually just save the markets that you're potentially focusing on or want to keep an eye on, so you don't have to just go back to that sort of step one and research it. Okay, so we've got multiple watch lists. Okay, so we've got our stocks, we've got our crypto, we've got our Forex ones, and then we've got certain focus lists as well. So you can literally add whatever you want to your watch list on this top right button here. Now what's extremely important, okay, when you're adding these markets to your watch list, okay, is the server that we are using. So when you're using Forex, we want to look mainly for FXCM or forex.com. okay, you can see these here. If we're looking at crypto, you want to look at things like Kraken, Binance, BitMEX, okay, every single market is different. If you're looking at indices, you want to be looking at, I think it's AUDNZD. So if we just type in the FTSE, okay, FTSE 100, we've got the currency.com, that's absolutely fine. And if we look at DAX, for example, again, we've got currency.com there. So currency.com would be the favored one for indices. Okay, so we've talked about how to actually plot a certain market onto the chart. We've talked about watch lists, okay, and how to create those watch lists. Now we're going to talk about actually what's on the chart, what you need to have on your chart, and actually how you can make it as clear and concise as possible. So firstly, we've got, when we open the chart, what we're going to see is the what we call Japanese candlesticks. Okay, we've got the Japanese candlestick chart. This is the chart that you need. You can change this, okay, you can change this to like line charts, you can change it to other ones, but really all you need is the candles, okay, Japanese candlesticks. Now finally, we also have down here what we call volume. Okay, so this is the volume that is being traded on this specific market at this specific time. Okay, so this we don't need. This is just a standard automated indicator that gets put up on TradingView. We don't need to worry about that. We can simply click it, okay, and then we can simply delete it. Okay, so then we're left with a nice clean chart. Now, in terms of aesthetics, we can actually change every aspect of this chart to suit our requirements. Okay, and what I mean by that is we can change the colors, we can change the candles, we can change the background, we can change absolutely everything. So if you literally just click on, double click on the actual candlesticks, okay, what we're going to see here is we're going to see the colors. Okay, so we can simply change this to, I always prefer a blue and a black chart, okay, if I'm working on a white. The borders, we can have those as black, that's fine. And then the wicks, we can have those as black as well. And as you can see, chart has completely changed. This for me is more visually appealing when I'm actually trading, and this is what I will tend to use when looking at these markets. Now there's a lot of different things you can change. Okay, you don't really need to mess with it too much, but you can also change background, so you can actually have a different color background if you want to, if it's better for you. But again, just try and make it as clean and as simple as possible, because it's very important to actually have a real understanding of what this chart is showing you. And the more mess you have on these charts, the harder it is to actually analyze these markets in a more concise way. Okay, so now we've got the Australian dollar versus the New Zealand dollar. So this here is giving us and showing us the price movements of Aussie dollar versus the New Zealand dollar over specific periods of time. So at the bottom, okay, we've got the time. Okay, so we've got 2017, 18, 19, 20. So literally we're just looking in history of what the price of Aussie dollar NZD has been doing, okay, in the last, say, 4 or 5 years. On the right hand side, okay, on this axis here, we've got the price. Okay, we've got the price that it's reached, so we can literally just hover over an area to see what the price was at a specific point in time. So on the 23rd of October 2017, we can see that Aussie dollar NZD had kind of reached those higher levels of 1.125. Okay, and if we just pull down to this part here, we can see that on the 31st of December 2018, we reached a low, okay, of 1.01977. Okay, so it's very easy to pick out price points, okay, and see what's going on with these charts. You probably just saw there as well that I'm stretching these charts. You can simply scroll in and out. Okay, you can double click to fit to screen. Okay, you can double click to fit to screen again on the bottom and on both of the axes. And then finally, with regards to the chart as well, you can stretch as much as you want as well. Okay, just so that you get a clear sort of indication and view of what's going on. So in our personal opinion, what you need to do is you really need to see what these candles are doing over a specific period of time. So we want to be as zoomed in as possible, and we really want to see the kind of structure of these candles. Now, as I say, I'm not going to go into detail of what candlesticks are. We've got all of that kind of information in the courses that we provide, as well as things like support, resistance. But I'm going to show you how to plot everything on TradingView, but I'm just not going to go through actually intricacies of precisely what you need to be doing, because that's all covered for our course members. So that's the basics of the chart. Now on the left hand side here we have all of our tools. Okay, on the left hand side we have our tools. So if we just click the little arrow, we can see there we've got trend lines. What I'm going to do, just for the purpose of this tutorial, is actually just add the ones that are significant. Okay, add the ones that are significant to my favorites list, and as you can see, my favorites list then pops up here, which is a flexible moving toolbar, so that I don't have to go through this list every single time I'm looking to do something. So we've got trend lines. Okay, very, very important. This is for us to identify trends on a chart. We've got the horizontal lines and the horizontal ray. Okay, that will give us the opportunity to pick out price points and actually highlight that and show that in the future. Okay, and then we've got the arrow tool if you're expecting a market to drop, and just as almost as a reminder to yourself, if we just click that arrow tool, click once and bring down, okay, we can then plot that on the charts, and this will save as well. Okay, this will save. You've got these save tools up here. It saves every 2 minutes, but you can also just click this button and it will save it for you. So the ones we're going to focus on is trend line, horizontal ray, and arrows. Nice and simple. We've got the Fibonacci retracement. Okay, again, I'm not going to go into too much detail in actually how to use it, but I'm just going to show you the settings that we use. We've got the rectangle, which we'll use on a regular basis. We've got text. Okay, sometimes we will look to just pop our notes on the chart, which is always very, very handy. So we'll just whack that one on there as well. And then finally, we have our long and our short position. Okay, long and our short position. So They are the most important tools of this chart. Okay, they are most important tools of this chart. And if I just show you, I've shown you how the arrow works. You simply click, okay, click and drag and click again. You can then produce your arrow. Now, we've then got things like horizontal lines, horizontal rates. So with these tools, what you're looking at doing really is highlighting areas where the market has stopped, reversed, changed direction, because these levels are very, very important, because future movements in price could react from the same level. So just as an example here, we can see here that the market kind of rose up to the highs here of 1.11, okay, 1.1150. So I would be kind of putting a marker on my chart here just to kind of show me that this is what's happening. Okay, show me that this is what's happening. We've kind of got that pull up into this area of 1.1150, and then we rejected and we actually came all the way down. Okay, I then put another one on, okay, down here. And what we can see then is when the price revisits these areas, we can see that we then rejected from this area and we headed back up. So these are very, very important price tools, okay, just to highlight areas that you're interested in looking at in the future. So we can see quite clearly on this chart that the market is ranging between these two levels, and it has been doing so since 2017. So we've also got the horizontal line tool, almost exactly the same as the the horizontal ray tool. So almost exactly the same as the horizontal line tool, but it just projects it to the right hand side as opposed to projecting it to the left hand side. Okay. Again, can be useful for things like picking out highs and lows, and again you can see that the market has reacted at this level here. Okay, the market has reacted again, the market has almost reacted again. So that is the line tools. Okay, that gives us that kind of identification of where the price is reacting. Okay, where this market is reacting and at what specific price point. We've then got things like the rectangles. We've got text. So if for example, if we wanted to put a note and say high made in July 2020. We can just pop that there and annotate that chart so we know and we can refer back to our notes in the future. Okay, it's very important to be doing this. We have our rectangle tool, so when we see areas where the market is kind of sitting for a longer period of time, okay, such as this kind of area that we've got here, we can just highlight that. Okay, and all of these things are flexible in terms of you can change the majority of these aspects just to make sure that it all makes sense to you. So we've got the rectangle tool here, okay, so we can just highlight areas of price. And then probably the most important thing, especially when you start trading, you can start actually looking at the risk rewards of your trades, and you can begin to plot these positions on this market. So if, let's just say I did my analysis on this market and I believe that we were bearish and we expected the price to move down, and I wanted to get an entry here, I can click on this one here, which is called short position, okay, and I can place that here, which shows me, okay, that this is my kind of expected movement on this chart, and I can see that if I was to place this trade with a large 95 pips point stop, with a target of this level here that we've already highlighted, which was this low, then I'd be looking at a 5.3 risk reward. Okay, and what that obviously means is that if we were to risk, say, £100 on that trade and that trade worked out, we would be looking at making £530 profit on that trade. Okay, we've got exactly the same on the opposite side of things. If we were long, which meant if we were looking at buying the market because we thought the market was going up, we have exactly the same here. Okay, and we can just use that tool to help us, and we can work out what our risk reward will be if this market was to do what we expected it to do. So that's the tools on the chart. Okay, that's the tools on the chart that I just wanted to make you aware of, so you all know how to do that. You all know how to change your chart lines now, change your colors, what tools to be using, and the only other things I just wanted to cover were timeframes. Okay, now we're going to do a separate video on the importance of timeframes. Okay, and this is just a very quick introduction on candlesticks for you. Now, as you can see here, this is currently highlighted with W. Okay, that means 1 week. Now, what that actually means, it means that each one of these candles, okay, is 1 week's worth of data. So, as we can see, this is from the 8th of February. This one is from the 1st of February. Okay, 7 days difference. This one here, 25th of January. Okay, so these individual candles are responsible for 1 week's worth of data. Now, when I say data, I mean the amount of buys and sells that happened within that week, where the market started, okay, where the market finished, how high the market got to, and how low the market got to, okay? So that's what we're looking at when we're seeing these candlesticks. So just going to draw an illustration for you. Let's say we have a market whereby, a candle like this, okay? And just so that it's clear, we're just going to choose the blue color, okay? Forget the arrows that I've got on the bottom of here. Okay, so let's say we've got a candlestick like that. What we're looking at, okay, right now when we see this, and on this weekly time frame, as I mentioned before, is we've got this level here, okay? This is at the bottom of our wick. There are two things with these candlesticks. We have bodies and we have wicks, okay? Now, the bodies are important and the wicks are important. So we open the week, okay? If we've got a bullish candle, a blue candle in my color scheme, we are opening the week at this point. Okay, so this is the week open price. Okay, we then have the weekly close price. Okay, and that is on a blue candle, that is the higher point. Okay, so that is the week close price. We then have the wicks. Okay, what the wicks are is how far the market got up before the sellers came in, okay, or how far the market got down before the buyers came in. So again, if I just copy and paste these, we've got the week highest price. Yeah, so the highest price that we achieved in that week. And then we have the bottom of that week, which is the lowest price. Okay, the lowest price that we achieved in that week. And this is exactly the same, okay, but in reverse order for a, in my case, a black candle, a down candle, a bearish candle, whatever you want to refer to it as. Okay, I'm just going to show you. So we'll just clone this one. So if, for example, we have a black candle, okay, we have a black candle like this, the week open price, okay, becomes this level. The week close price becomes this level. Because it's a bearish move, we start the week at this point, we end the week at this point. The week highest price is the same, the week lowest price is the same, but the close and open price is different, okay? Now, when we kind of flip that round in terms of the time frames, we've got here the weekly. So if, for example, I was to click on monthly, now what this is showing me, each candle is 1 month's worth of data. So rather than the candle, let's do this one again. This is now the monthly open price. Yeah, because we're on a monthly time frame. Okay, we've got the monthly open price, we've got the monthly close price, and then we've got the monthly high and low. Okay, so the highest price and the lowest price in that month. Okay, so that's your basics on candlesticks. That's exactly what you're looking at. Okay, so if I'm looking at this candle where we are right now, okay, this is February's candle, so we are only 11 days into February so far. Okay, the open price is this point here, 1.06402. Okay, let me just zoom into that. Okay, 1.06402. Okay, the lowest point we've got to this month so far is 1.05411. The close price, although it hasn't closed yet because we're not going to close until the end of the month, but the current close price, if it wasn't to move any more until the rest of the month, which obviously isn't going to happen, would be 1.07158. And the highest point of the month, okay, is 1.07289 so far. So this is also so far because this candle is still moving. Okay, once this candle has finished at the end of February, we'll then start a new candle. And it's easier to kind of show this in the lower time frame. So up here we've got all the time frames. We've got the daily. So again, this is just exactly the same concept and information, but we're just seeing less data. So in a month, we're seeing a month's worth of data. In a week, we're seeing a week's. In a days, we're seeing a days per candle. So currently, we're on the daily here. We've had the open at 1.06972. We are currently sitting at 1.07136. The highest of the day so far is 1.07215. And the lowest of the day so far is 1.06919. Okay. Now, if we go on to the 1 minute chart, okay, and this is just to show you, this is the current information, the current movement of market price that's happening in this very minute. We've got a timer here on the right hand side which shows you that we've got 23 seconds left until this candle, this minute, is over. So this candle that's moving and forming right now is showing us, okay, what's happening or what's happened in this minute. Now when that finishes in 9 seconds, we will then close that candle. That candle will then be that will be finished and a new candle will open. So 1 second's gone. We now jump to the right hand side. So this candle closed as a bullish candle, okay, because it's blue. It closed with an open of 1.07148. It closed with 1.0715, had a high of 1.07154, and it had a low of 1.07145. Okay, exactly the same concept, just across the different time frames. So guys, I hope that makes sense to you. I am going to cover in another video the importance of time frames. Okay, to give you an insight, what we'll be looking at is things such as the importance of the higher time frames over the lower time frames, the time frames that you should be placing trades on, and also how to kind of synchronize all of your analysis and ensure that you have the highest probability of performing profitable trades. Okay, so I hope you find that useful. That covers TradingView. I pretty much covered everything I think that needs to be focused on for beginners that are looking to use this platform. And yeah, so we'll see you in the next video. Any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thanks guys.